Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys had a fantastic evening and a fantastic night's rest. I was pretty alright. I was up a little late, though, which is my own fault. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, chat. I'm going to try, because it was recommended in the Discord, I'm going to try Obsidian Vaults today. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I've made a couple changes to some things. One of the things is I changed Scald to be Yalder Scald. So literally to emphasize battle, Yalder is battle in Old Norse. So Yalder Scald, basically battle poets. I think that's more fitting for what's expected of them. So, you know, there you go. This is a small change. I've also worked on the three overarching categories. There's more, but the three main categories of what Wolvarin are. So essentially, like, which of these three groups do you fall into? Now, within these groups, you'll have different subsets, right? You'll have different subsets of tribes and associations and foundations and all kinds of things like that, right? So this isn't like if you're part of Group A, you know you're all part of all that group. It's like no, that doesn't happen. You'll still have conflicts and problems between the groups. Because, like, one tribe's version of discipline is not the same as another tribe's version, right? Like, one tribe might engage in pacifism. Now, when I say pacifism, I don't mean the Hollywood bullshit of, oh, I'll never do anything ever sort of thing. No, I mean genuine pacifism, where you're never the one that starts it, but you're the one that's going to finish it. And other tribes might be like, well, that's stupid. Sometimes it's better to land the first blow than it is to reciprocate. So, again, that's all gets into all tribal things for each of them. So the three overarching categories for the Wolvarin are known as the Disciplined, and the Disciplined, the Embracers, and the Smilers. So, the Disciplined work tirelessly to control their urges and are the overwhelming majority of Wolvarin, basically trying to deny their sins any hold while following Merax's teachings. And this is through extreme discipline you can overcome all such vices. Right? Which is true. You can. The Embracers accept that they are sinners and will indulge a little in the personal sin that they have, but also enforce discipline on themselves and have strong adherence to Merax's teachings. However, the Disciplined do not view a distinction between the Embracers and the Smilers. And their philosophy is, it's one thing to be a bit lustful and enjoy carnal pleasures, and it's another thing to be a wanton rapist and molester. Right? Which is true. Like, that's just an absolute fact. Oop. And then, of course, the Smilers are those that readily and eagerly indulge in sins. They're so named because each and every one of them, regardless of the sin they indulge in, revels in it so much they have this unsettling smile that they usually have. Like something that goes beyond just elation and into a more primal fulfillment. These are the cannibals, the rapists, the robber barons, etc. Those that are Smilers can fall deeper down into it and eventually, if not pulled back, will fully succumb and transform into hellhounds that embody that embody the sin they most practice. Once becoming a hellhound, there is no going back, and for the purposes of all rolls and checks from then on, they are classified fully as demonic. There is no, like, oh no, they were Wolvarine, so, wolf checks, no, doesn't matter. They're hellhounds now. They're fully demonic. There's nothing left of the Wolvarine that was. And that's another aspect for those that play Wolvarines. If you make a Wolvarine, you have to take 2 sins. One of them is forced on you, which is the sin of hatred. Right? The sin of malice, hatred, rage is forced on you because of the compact between the Wolvarine race and Meraxes. But it also means you won't have hellhounds of malice or hatred, right? Because Meraxes takes care of that. He's like, no. No, that's not happening. But then you have to take another sin as well. So what is your personal sin? You have the species sin, which is hatred, rage, wrath, and everything, right? Or not wrath. Because wrath is tied directly into divine wrath, which is known as a surgical precision thing. So you have that where you have to take, are you a glutton? Are you slothful? Are you lustful? Are you full of avarice and greed? Like, what are you? What are you? And for roll purposes, every time you roll against something that has one of those sins, like if your personal sin aligns in a situation where this sin comes up, you automatically lose a single success. Automatically. Just right off the bat. So it makes it easier to botch on rolls that have your personal sin associated with it. Envy smilers are some of the scariest ones, by the way. Like all the rest of them, you can understand why or how. Like the slothful ones are the least scary of the smilers, because they're just lazy pieces of shit, right? So they're the least threatening of smilers. The envy ones are terrifying because they're the great manipulators. Because they're trying to take the thing they're envious of. So they'll scheme and plot and manipulate, and they'll try to infiltrate. They're the ones I would be the most wary of. Okay. Right, let us do the preview, and then we'll get to work with the Obsidian Vault. I've never used it before, so this will be a day of learning and everything. A whistle went up from Jeremy, who was leaned against the frame where the heavy bunker door would have cradled. This got Samantha to break off the kiss, with William giving a grumble in turn. So, when's the wedding? To be determined, Jeremy, but I think things went well. Samantha didn't say anything. Instead, she gave him a light flick of the back of her hand and pulled the ball cap down a bit more. Jeremy gave an approving nod of his head and waved a hand back before he went back inside. Though, to add a bit of teasing to it, he called out as he disappeared, "Hey everyone, guess what?" William let out a soft laugh at that before he turned his focus back to Samantha. She in turn looked at him and gave a smile, even stepping a bit closer to him once more. "I wasn't sure if You ever felt that way about me, Will? Well, apparently everyone else was. Perhaps I looked like a lovesick pup whenever you were around. Two of them simply smiled and shared the moment. Though work still needed to be done, it was nice to just take a few for a breather. William especially was always grateful for the fresh air. Perhaps sometime we should go for a stroll out amongst nature, if you don't mind something rather mundane for a first date. Not at all. I rather like being out here myself. That's why I made sure to stick to being a field analyst and not getting trapped at a desk. Well, at a desk as much. William gave a nod of his head at that and smiled warmly before he took in a deep breath and looked out at the forest. He then tilted his head some and furrowed his brow, which got Samantha to look out in turn. Do you see that? Yeah, what is that? The pair of them stood there for a time, as off in the distance there was a strange light that illuminated an area of the trees. The light got closer towards the base, though it wasn't a pair of headlights or anything. This strange illumination seemed to be coming from above somehow. The pair of them watched as the light stopped its advance for a time, curious as what it could mean, with both of them placing a hand on their sidearms and even starting to move towards the bunker door. Oh, lustful smilers, they're creepy, but you know what's on their mind, you know what I mean? So, envious ones, they're the ones that are wild, capricious, gaslighters, and, you know, they're the ones that you are the most manipulative. As they were about to retreat inside, the light suddenly shifted from showing a spot where a boxy object seemed to be and now was shining directly at them. The pair narrowed their eyes and raised their hands up to block out the light before retreating inside. Michael looked through the binoculars. His position was far enough back to be hard to distinguish from the trees, but close enough to get good clarity. Yet when Brightbeat shifted the light to shine directly at the intended destination, he watched the pair of people outside raise their hands up to cover their eyes from a light they shouldn't have been able to see. Unless they could, and that thought filled Michael with a sense of dread. William and Samantha gathered the team that was inside the loading dock and brought them outside to look at the forest. Yet they had a shared frustration as everyone scanned around and looked back to them puzzled. Will, I don't see Seriously, does no one else see anything out there? It is rather obvious, but if no one else can see it... Well, don't be coy. Just tell us what you see. There's a light in the distance, but maybe the two of us are seeing things. Samantha turned to look at William for a moment, who gave her a slight nod to try and get an understanding across. I guess you just wanted to be sure, right? Indeed. Appreciate it, Jeremy, Taylor, Andrew, Anthony. Sorry to drag you away from your thrilling work for a moment. Group let out a chuckle and then turned to go back inside and back to their assigned duties. When they all ducked inside, Samantha finally spoke up again. No one else can see that? She said while pointing for emphasis at the big glowing circle now once more pointed at the forest. The pair then watched as it began to retreat away from them with some haste. Oh, it seems so. Well, now we need to mark that away as something odd. Did you catch sight of what was shining the light at all? It looked like a bird. What kind of bird would do that? Let alone could. I didn't see the bird at all. That light was unmistakable. So, we have a bird-like thing that was, what? Leading a trail in the woods? Then looked at us and now leaves? Only the pair of us can see it, that we know of, though we didn't check everyone from all the teams inside. You really couldn't see the bird, Will? It's pretty obvious when it was the only thing casting light. I couldn't. The light looked as if it was coming from the air itself. So we can add that to the mystery. You could see the bird and I could not. But both of us could see the light. William let out a grumble as the pair of them watched the light get further and further away. Well, the NDA warns us the world is a lot stranger than we would expect. Perhaps we can add this to our date plans. Oh, I agree. Finding out whatever the hell that was is a mystery to be unraveled. Yeah. There you go. There is our brief preview for today. The preview for today. And yeah, again, that's setting up some things. Why can these two see it? And why can Will not see the bird, but Samantha could? And of course, everybody knows the answer already. Well, if you've been in these streams, I've already given it away. But basically, I'm laying all the groundwork and foundations and tracks for why all of this is set up. And like the clues that'll be sprinkled in for the readers. Oofta. Hang on. And a bit of... Get a bit of gunk around my claws. I gotta clean them out. There we go. have to get out the file and chip away at it. I have Obsidian installed, so now we're gonna start the effort of working through it. Okay, create new vault. Vault name. Oh God. We'll keep this one simple, and we'll just have this one just be Wolvarin, right? Location. You're not going in documents, no, because I know me. I know me. You're gonna go right beside where the rest of you is. Oh. No, not just D. No. Yeah, there you go. No, I want you to create. I want you to create obsidian vaults and then do it. There we go. Now select that folder. Yes. Now create. Oh my God, can I get dark mode? Is there, please tell me there's a dark vision. Or there's a dark mode. Because look at this. Ah, my eyes! My poor eyes! It's so blinding! Yes, there is a dark mode. Oh my God, where is it? I need to know immediately. Oh, appearance. Okay. Appearance. Dark. Oh. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Oh my goodness. Praise be. Right. Welcome, this is your new vault. Okay. Wolvarin. Okay. Species. Let's do that. How does one create a link? Oh yeah, much easier on our scholarly eyes. I have special eyes. Look! Look with your special eyes! My brand! Launch default is light mode. Such Ash baby. Yeah, ironically. I hate light mode. I cannot emphasize how much I hate light mode. VC face is off sync again. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Light mode is literally the flashbang of so many things. That gets into its own complicated mess. Like, there was... Alright, hang on. Someone's asking me questions about it. Because they're somebody I knew. They are Atka Kaluk, a.k.a. the alpha of the Amberglade, the one I was advisor to. He's asking me a bunch of questions about the Wolvarin. There was a demonic entity, a devil that embodied rage, hatred, malice, known as the bloody serpent in passing. This thing was eventually slain. Itself is our is to piss. Long story, very short. Of malice. Are tied directly to Mirax. I know this is very thrilling, chat. Sorry. I can read out exactly what I'm typing to him here in a second. Because he wrote back, fuck, that is some good building for the moment. Definitely sets it apart from other werewolf settings. Very well developed and explained quite well. I'm not confused on a single thing, but how far do the sins go? And is there an ultimate sin? I.e. Lucifer, Satan, the worm, whatever. I'm guessing it's another dragon if it's opposing the Emperor. Directly to Miraxis. But this means that all All right. So here's what I wrote back. It is not. That gets into its own complicated mess. Like there was a devil that embodied rage, hatred, malice, known as the Bloody Serpent in passing. This thing was eventually slain in an aspect of Meraxis, naming itself Zaramis to intentionally piss off Meraxis, subsumed the Bloody Serpent, and became the embodiment of this sin. Long story very short, Meraxis destroys Zaramis and reabsorbs him, fully taking on the duties and bane of malice, but keeps it in check through his will and discipline. Because the Wolverine are tied directly to Meraxis, he has gifted them wrath to utilize as a powerful and surgical divine thing. But this means that all Wolverine will undergo an extreme bloodlust and rage when they first change and awaken. Meraxis, though, will destroy any Smilers that indulge in hatred, and thus, weirdly, that place of the shifting hells is very calm, empty, and barren. There is a dragon werewolf hybrid. There is one. That's Cordysoth. I was coming around on a lecture, do I? Nah, not really a lecture. Again, we're just talking through the book and everything. But yeah. No, that's Cordyceps. Or Cordyceps? Whatever, it's something like that. Lecture reviewer, not lecturing. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, Cordysoth is, Cordysoth, when he became a Drakine, he was not a Drakine through the traditional methods. Instead, Severus himself, or rather, one of Severus's avatars, gave Cordysoth his Drakine self. Now, this means he had a link, a tether to Severus. So, okay, there's already a connection between the two. Now, while Cordysoth, as a normal Drakine, living his Drakine life, goes and he starts investigating the western continent, because there are rumors of a dangerous magical thing. He's starting to notice that magic is leaving the world, and he doesn't know why. He's trying to figure out why magic is leaving. So he goes to investigate the western continent because the rumors of dangerous magical things. When he gets there, when he goes out to the west as much as he can, they start talking about the wolf monsters that are everywhere. Right? Now, what ended up happening was there was a mage that was meddling with wolves. Right? They were doing experimentations and everything. And they accidentally triggered a magic that was latent within wolves. Basically, that was placed there by a god that is now long dead. Nobody knows who did it. Nobody knows why they did it, and why wolves in particular. But this mage was meddling with it, and it inflicted the curse upon him. Basically, so you want to fuck around with wolves, huh? Well, guess what? Go fuck yourself. You fucked around, now you're going to find out. So, he becomes the Black Wolf. And when he has the more traditional werewolf methodology, right? He bites people, and if he doesn't kill them and eat them immediately, they start shifting into werewolves themselves. But they are feral. There is no, they don't get to keep their memories or mind or anything. They go full feralized. However, you can break them from that feral state, that feral mentality, if you give them one of their baser instincts to kick in, right? So at first, they're just pure survival, wild animal, lashing out. But if you can sate their appetite, if you can be lustful, you need to trigger their brain, switch their brain off the track they're currently stuck on. If you can get them to shift tracks, get them to shift focus, you can give them back control of their body. They're basically locked in to the wolf. It's not like they can see anything, but that's essentially the way they all describe it when they get knocked out of the feral instincts. They were basically like locked in and stuck inside, right? What's the adage again? No, it's predators are sexy, werewolves are carnal beasts. that was the adage. Anyways. Yeah, so long story short, Cordysoth goes over there because one thing that's been noted is that any Drachyne that gets bitten by a werewolf doesn't turn. They're completely immune. Okay? And so the same thing would go for Dracorn and everything like that. This is before they discover the Dracmolkine, by the way. And this is how the multiversal settings works, where things get hazy. If there are always Dracorin in most universes, unless there are ones where hard rules they're not, and there's only one specific race there, right? There's always you've got the Dracorin that are the dragons. Now, if the Dracorin can take bipedal form, it's called Drachyne for them. However, there are universes, and Cordysoth's is one of those, where the Drachyne are their own species. Where Drachyne are literally the kindred of dragons. That's what their name breaks down into. And then if you get the kobold-like race that comes in later, they're known as the Dracmolkine. They are the small kindred of the dragons. Now anyways, so he's a Drachyne. He goes over there to investigate, and he's not worried now anymore because he's been told by other Drachyne in the area, like, hey, no, we're totally immune, so we're making a fortune here, right? We're raking in like protection monies. We are the ones that are like escorting the caravans, things like that, because we don't have to worry about getting bit. If we get bit, it's totally fine. If somebody else gets bit, it's not fine. The curse will start taking hold of them. And the reason Drachyne are that way is because the Drachyne have dragon's blood in them. The dragon's blood burns out the curse. Normally. In his investigations, Cordysoth meets up with a woman. This woman is particularly good at breaking out the cursed out of their feralized state. And she brings along lots of food, stuffs, things like that. But through their wanderings, Cordysoth gets her to admit that her favorite way to do so is to seduce them. And that's the moment Cordysoth realizes he's with a fucking freak. Like, oh no. He's like, no, I came with a freak. White woman moment, yep. Now, this is all fine. He's starting to debate on the things like, do I continue on? She's doing good work. Very, very not pleased with being in this situation. They are making a camp when they notice that there's no sound of anything. There's no birds, there's no insects, there's nothing. And then they hear a little shuffle in the tall grass. Cordysoth draws the sword of Severus, and he is looking intently at the tall grass when the biggest fucking werewolf he has ever seen, and granted, he's seen a few of them now, but this thing is a monster, pure black, and Cordysoth has true sight, right? So when Cordysoth looks at this thing, he sees the curse bubbling and boiling and popping and just... This is not like any of the other werewolves. This thing is like the fucking curse made manifest, because this is the mage. But the mage is in pure feralized state. There is no mentality left, and he's been that way for so long that there's no coming back for him. So Cordysoth gets in a fight directly with him. The fight is not going well. Cordysoth, though, realizes that unlike the other wolves who you've seen get injured and they heal themselves fairly quickly, it's not like miraculous healing. They can't like regrow limbs and stuff. But he notices like that severe lacerations or broken bones, they just reset themselves. But he notices that any gash or cut or anything he inflicts with the Sword of Severus isn't healing. And then he looks at the Sword of Severus and he realizes the sword, because of the way he made it, is siphoning the curse. It's drinking of it. So this emboldens him. He charges forward. Unfortunately slips as he's charging. The wolf takes advantage and stabs his claws right into his guts and pulls up and out. So now fucking Cordysoth has a damn near fatal injury. But Cordysoth manages to stab the sword directly into the wolf's chest. The wolf then retaliates and bites him in the neck. He then pulls and rips up, draws the sword up and literally chops the head off, just dragging it through the body, because remember how sharp the Sword of Severus is. Just up, whoop, right off. Then Cordysoth realizes to his horror that his vision is pulsating and everything. He thinks he's dying. He thinks this is death. But then he notices that the curse is like going through his veins and everything. And he looks at the Sword of Severus, and the sword starts vibrating and shaking and starts burning his hand, and he doesn't know why. And then he sees the sword literally spit the curse fucking out, but not like releasing the curse. No, the sword has found a meal it doesn't like, and it shoots it further into Cordysoth's body. So he gets the dosage from the black wolf biting him, and then the sword shoots the curse directly into his body too. Like, curse you, sword! You betrayed me, you son of a bitch! But this then shifts him into... He doesn't become a wolf, but if you can imagine if a human becomes a werewolf, what would happen if the curse infected something that had the blood of the dragon in them, was already a 7'3" tall, like, well-muscled, like, dragon man, and now it has the curse in him? He turns into an absolutely nightmarish entity that is barely contained, just absolute feralized mentality, right? They got small. Now, he also realizes to his horror very quickly that disemboweling he faced, it doesn't fucking matter. The guts and everything, the intestines, all that stuff like that got pulled out. They start reeling themselves back in. The hide and the scales start coming back together. And he's just like, oh. And he looks over at the woman he was with, and he's trying to tell her to run, but he can't speak. he starts convulsing and falls over and vomiting, and he's having a not good time. She, of course, is freaking the fuck out because this was not supposed to happen. And again, as all the other Drakine say, that's not supposed to happen either. But that's how this is how Cortisoth gains immortality unexpectedly. Right? Because he already had a connection to Severus. The curse, now coursing through his body, shoots up the connection. Severus could, of course, stop it. He just, looks at it and he's just like, what the fuck is it? Boop. Like, no. However, the curse has now reinforced the connection between the two of them. So, Cortisoth has gained, beyond Wolverine X-Men healing capabilities. You know how they've balderized him to be super fucking extreme healing? That's what Cortisoth is now. He literally cannot be destroyed. Even when he gets damn near vaporized, he, regenerates himself. He gets to feel every single millisecond of rebuilding himself and all the pain and stuff like that, which is why he very much hates immortality. But no, he gets to live. No. What happens is, when you cut off a limb of his, say you chop off his left arm, you will watch the left arm sail away, and you will watch as it starts to vaporize itself in the air. It starts falling to pieces. You see it drift, bits of it drifting away unnaturally, and it basically just disintegrates. While that's happening, you're watching as a new arm is literally jutting and cracking itself out and extending and building itself, right? You'll see the bone shoot out. He can still manipulate it because it's a curse thing. It's a magical thing. It's not natural. He doesn't just have bones shooting out like a fucking cannon until it finally holds together. No. You'll see the bones crack out and form. You'll see the muscle tissue, fat, and tendons and all that start wrapping and forming. Yeah, he is genuinely unkillable. Yeah, he can't reattach it. Once it's been separated, it starts disintegrating, right? Yeah, he doesn't, it's not an instantaneous thing. He gets to experience all of it. So you can stun lock him for a long time, but again, he can't be destroyed. He will get up eventually, but you can keep him there for a long time by keep cutting off limbs and bits and pieces of him, and they keep regrowing, and he's basically stun locked with pain. But that's only going to go for so long, and eventually his brain will just flip the switch and be like, alright, everything hurts, I don't fucking care, turn it off, we're kicking up the adrenaline, I'm just going to flood you with a shit ton of dopamine and everything so you get through whatever the fuck is going on out there. Basically what brains do for us, they either try to knock us out, or if you can't be knocked out, the brain will eventually turn off the pain receptors. To be like, I don't know what's going on, but we're in survival mode now, and I'm turning off the brain. I'm turning it off. Some of them in a freezer. They've tried something like that. It doesn't work. The curse, because the freezer will start damaging him, the curse will start kicking in more and more and more. And it eventually will start heating up and hotter and hotter and hotter until he's damn near molten. Again, he gets to experience that. It isn't like a fun thing of ha ha ha, I feel warm and toasty. No, he feels like he's melting. He caused global warming. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Alright. I kind of want to put on some music, though, chat. Let's put on some music. We'll keep it old classical music, because I don't think anything's legally allowed to claim that? Hmm. No. Yeah, as you can imagine, Kortasov has not left Kortasov in the best of moods, to put it bluntly. He very much is somebody that, yeah, he is not well pleased. Okay. I'm going to do this for you guys, just so you can see what we're looking at. So, we'll have to fill in all of this, though, all the information. This will get interesting. Oh, that's how you do it. Hold on. Oh, I'm going to, hold on. We'll delete you. I'm going to bring you all the way down here. Just so we have that as like a reminder of how to do things. Okay. Learn. She's within the Sakara verses. I like multiversal, right? Of course, game OSTs would get me claimed. Holy shit! Of course. Let's do classical music though. Classical music. Refresh. This is what we start with. All right. Neat. Neat. Turn down a little bit for you guys. They can be traditionally thought of as werewolves, but this is a bit of a misnomer. Those that are most werewolf media, wolfen media. If there's one song that if they have it, hold on. Because I just clicked on the classical music that goes hard. Wagner? Oh, here it is. Hang on. If anybody remembers that old meme. That's an ancient old meme from, like, You're the Man Now dog days. Holy shit. But no, right here. This one. Yeah. Yeah, this one right here is this is what I imagine what happens when because what's going to happen is William is not going to become one of the disciplined, right? So William isn't going to become one of the disciplined, he's going to become one of the embracers. And speaking of embracers, I guess we can talk through that real quick. Hold on, let me pause the music. Right? So, the embracers, remember, they're those that embrace the fact that they are sinners. That they have committed sin, and that it's a natural part of who they are. But they will work on themselves not to, like, fall to sin, right? They're not going to become hellhounds. They have their own sense of discipline. They don't view what the discipline do. They think like denying everything of yourself. They're like, that's a bit weird. You know, you're a living being. Live a little. Which, to be fair, the disciplined aren't that extreme. It's just a lot of the embracers think they're more extreme. It's kind of that misconceptions thing, right? Where the disciplined think the embracers are nothing more than smilers who pretend to not be smilers. The embracers think that the disciplined are way too stuck up and trying to be like something better than what they are. And the smilers are just the smilers. They don't give a shit. Yeah, so it's just that misconception thing. William Lowell is an embracer. Right? Church ladies. Yeah. So, and again, the embracers will work with the disciplined to kill smilers. The embracers don't like smilers either. But a lot of the disciplined view embracers as smilers. They just smilers that are pretending not to be smilers. We talked about it before, so I've shifted a little bit. I'm going to make Smiling Wolf Studios, which is the porn studio, right? That is going to be shifted into the Embracers group. Because before they were going to be Smilers, but they were going to have like their extreme branch. That was actually a trap because they felt like if there were those that embraced lust too much, it would bring down like the authorities and shit like that, and they would ruin the good times for everyone. Now I'm going to make the Smiling Wolf Studios is going to be part of the Embracers. Because again, there's a difference between being lustful and enjoying sex and then being a fucking vile rapist and molester, right? Basically, there's a difference between porn stars and then fucking predators. And that's what they looked at. So they're like, hey, you know, we're not saying we're innocent. We're making pornos and shit here. But we're not fucking monsters. I mean, we are fucking monsters, literally, but we're not monsters in and of ourselves. No. I actually came up with a funny way that this started, and a bit of a tragedy, too, the way this all started. Excuse me, I have standards. Yes. Basically, that's the way a lot of the embracers are. They're like, hey, we're not trying to pretend we're squeaky clean good guys. We are good guys, but we're flawed and faulted. We've got faults and things like that. We're doing our best, okay, and we're going to continue to fight the wicked in Merax's teachings. That's the other part about it. The embracers do follow Merax's teachings. Ironically, ironically, they are actually closer to Meraxus and Steeljaw's path than the Disciplined are. Because the Disciplined are trying to cast off all sin. Whereas Meraxus was like, no, I know what my faults are. I accept my faults are my faults. Same thing with Sidoris, with Steeljaw. He's like, I know what my faults are. You know, it is who I am. I'm going to work to be better than I was the day before. I'll never be perfect. I'll never be free of sin. But that's fine. Chasing the dragon must mean something different in this world? No, not at all, actually. Because those that have dragons and know about dragons, they know they're at the pinnacle, right? They're the apex. Now, remember, you can have more than one apex predator. It all changes based on environment, right? Like a wolf is an apex predator, but it's not going to be in the fucking ocean. Like, if you throw a wolf in the ocean, it doesn't matter if it's an apex predator in the forests and in the tundra. That doesn't mean shit in the fucking ocean. Ah, you've come to the wrong domain, motherfucker. Wait, no, let's do it full. Aha, you have come to the wrong domain, mother knower. Yeah. Kind of, yeah. That's kind of a way to look at it. Well, again, like Smiling Wolf Studios, they're not they're not shy about the fact it's like, yeah, we shoot pornos here. So what? It's just pleasure. Like, we're not sitting out here fucking kidnapping people and, like, you know, going to fucking train on them or anything like that. No. Like, these are legitimate people. We pay them well. They want to come in and they want to shoot these things. Sure. Now, there are those actresses and actors who note that they're bored and they want something different. And then Smiling Wolf Studios will be like, well, we have our traditional pornographic stuff, and then we have our more specialized stuff if you would like to come in on that and try it. Which is where they get into, like, the werewolf smut and stuff. That's actually how it originally started. Originally, Smiling Wolf Studios was going... Yeah, I joined to hear werewolf smut. Well, there you go. Originally, Smiling Wolf Studios was your traditional, like, Playboy Penthouse magazine, right? That's originally what it was. Then, one of the models for it noted that she was bored. She's like, it's okay. It's like, I'm not feeling really satisfied with work or anything like that. So she was becoming a little more standoffish. She wouldn't come in as often and everything like that. And they're like, okay, what's the problem here? What's going on? And she noticed she just wanted some more excitement. And it's got the owner of Smiling Wolf Studios, who again is a part of the Embracers group. He's like, you want some more excitement, do you? Think thonking. I've got an idea. And that's when they tried the first, like what they call the Monster series. And she was thrilled with that. Unfortunately, part of the problem with the Embracers is that because they are enablers to an extent of sin, there are people that are less disciplined than they are who will fall into it, and then they become smilers, or they take it too far. They're like, they might not be a part of the Wolverine or any of the other shifter races, but they'll go beyond that. And this actress was one of the ones who went beyond. She wasn't a part of the group, so she doesn't become a smiler, but she starts to wallow in sin, and she basically self-destroys herself. She self-destructs. She goes on a dangerous spiral and just ruins herself. But to Smiling Wolf Studios, like, you know, that series did really fucking well. That series did really well for us. So first off, we're gonna need to like keep the people that go into the series under very heavy watch because now we've seen what happens if we don't. But I think we should bring the series back. I think we should do more of them. Yeah, so Mouse, we talked about it. There's the three types of, there's the three overarching ones. There's multiple subgroups, but there's three overarching types of Wolvarin. There are the disciplined, who are more extreme and like, you know, we will cast all sin out from us. We will never have sin. You know, we're trying to be chastened, basically. The Smilers view them as total hypocrites. The Embracers view them as a little too stuck up. Meanwhile, the Embracers are, we will indulge in our sins, but in moderation, and we will continue our service, and we will battle the wicked in the name of Meraxes. We will continue to follow Meraxes' teachings, but we know we are beings that have sin within us. And we're not making excuses for it. We know it's there. We'll indulge it a little bit, but when it's time to get to work, it's time to get to work. Now, the disciplined view the Embracers as you're just Smilers that are pretending not to be Smilers. The Smilers view the Embracers as like, just go a little further. Just go a little further. Come join us. Go a little further. Come on. One bad day. One bad day. And then, of course, the Smilers are the genuine monsters. They're the ones that revel in their sins. Right? Like, they're the absolute monsters. Yep. I could absolutely see Mouse as an Embracer. Holy shit. 100%. Yeah, so I think Smiling Wolf Studios will be a good, like, pinpoint for, like, what an Embracer group would look like. What a collective of Embracers, you know, a small little tribe of Embracers would be. Smiling Wolf Studios would 100% be that. Now, again, like I said, William Lowell, a.k.a. Strithelfer, is an Embracer as well. But his sin is, he is much more the embodiment of hatred and malice. Again, his was so extreme that he almost generated a new embodiment of malice when he created the Bloody Wolf from his first change. So, he almost made a new one. Meraxes, though, stepped in, like, stopped that real fucking fast. He's like, nope. That was the thing that also freaks Michael out, is he will watch Meraxes descend to witness the first change of William, and this is what makes Michael realize that something's different here. Not only are there thousands and thousands of spirits watching, because they treat it kind of like a game, it's kind of entertainment to watch what happens when a Wolverine has their first change. When the other shifters have their first change, it's much more mundane and much more survival instinct based. When a Wolverine does, it's because of rage. So things go wild. Yep. But yeah, so William Lowell, aka Strithelfer, Strithyulfer, he is a part of the Embracers. But he embraces anger, malice, and hatred. Yeah. Alright, let's put back on the music, and then we'll figure out how we want to properly break all this down. Because, let's see. Oh, and like I said, this is when. So the reason I mention that is when William shows up to fight like against the Smilers and stuff like that. This is the song Here I Imagine plays for him. Oh yeah, we need to do all the icons for all the things too. Fuck. Because remember, he has the mental discipline, he has the training and everything as well. So eventually I do want it to be where William he's so dedicated on this path that he's chosen. And again, Samantha supports him on this path, but Samantha is a Raven shifter, so, you know. Yep. Let's see, what's some other good music in here, too? I want to see if there's any other good music here for us to use. What's this one? It's very quiet. For now it is. Oh my god, it's the can. No. Oh shit. That was way funnier than I thought it would be. Because like it was very fucking quiet. Nope. No. Vivaldi? That's pretty fucking good. The Four Seasons. I don't know. I don't know on that one. Symphony number 4. This one's from Mendelssohn. Symphony number 4. Italian. Super fucking quiet again. Welcome back. Play as the Entertainer? What's that? This one's not bad. I don't think it's super fitting, right? Skim around a little bit in it. Alright, next one. Another Mendelssohn one. Symphony number 3. 156 Scottish 4 finale. Ode to Joy. Beethoven Symphony Number 5. Classic. Beethoven Symphony Number 3. Common saloon music. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm just think-thonking here, chat. Just think-thonking. Plus, it just gives me a chance to just have conversations with you guys. Which I always enjoy. I always enjoy when you just sit back and chat and talk. Next. Wait. What's this? The wolf attacks and eats the 7 young goats. Hold on. Cannons are an instrument. Oh, yeah. This song is literally called The Wolf and the 7 Young Goats. The wolf attacks and eats the 7 young goats. The next one's called The Big Bad Wolf. You have my attention, okay. I don't think this one's very fitting for other things, but this is on theme at least. A friend transmitted his tism to me. Send help. Nope, I cannot. I can only transmit my tism. This one's called The Big Bad Wolf. I don't know, it feels kind of too folksy to me, you know? I think it's the way that it sounds like a fiddle is playing. Alright, let's try this other one. Jenkins, Wagner. Number 5 in G minor, number 1 in G minor. there's Galliard. Nice. The William Tell Overture's in here. Oh, hang on. A ton of people did this one. What's this? So many people did this one. I can't even tell what this one is. Oh, there we go. Yes! I can't use this, though, for them. And you know why I can't use this for them, though? Do you know why I can't use this for them? I'll try to put it together for you guys. This is Obsidian. It's a wiki system thing. I actually kind of like it already. I haven't used it. I barely used it, and I actually like it. Because then we can jump around here. Boop. Go back. Yeah. Yeah, we can jump around into the different links and stuff. So we can make like a web of interconnecting things. Yeah, so the reason I can't use Dies Irae the reason I can't use Dies Irae is because this is Meraxes' theme. This is Meraxes himself. Specifically. Wish you guys see my hands. We will get hand tracking working eventually, and things will be more interesting. But again, part of it is, again, it's supposed to be his Imperial Majesty, but also his wrath. Like when Meraxes decides that you fucked around enough to find out, he is very pragmatic in his application of wrath. And it is extreme. It's extreme and it's quick. Right? So this part right here, this specific part, alright, we're coming into it. But the long extended choir section, the way I view it, this is what happens when he is sitting atop of Stormen's castle, right? When he's sitting on top and he is looking out over all of the destruction that's raining down beneath, because basically he signs on with Hexathus to punish this kingdom to an extreme extent. And so he personally shows up himself, and he sits atop the castle, and he rains down just a devastating hellstorm across the entire city. Like, doesn't even leave like twisted glass behind. He just makes sure everything is wiped away. So, let me pull it up. It's going to take it a while because it's got a storm break. Ah, fuck. I forgot I called it storm break because storms end with something else. What happens? All right, here we go. Come over. Whoop. Storm break. So, again, as will be noticed, right? Everything is kind of it's vaguely dragon shaped. But no one knows that. And here's Drakor itself. Vitaria, Stormend is the kingdom. Garradin, Lagerall, Stallis. Right? So he comes over into Stormend, and he goes on to Stormbreak's keep. And he just rains down a devastating hellstorm on the city. Like, no mercy for it. He's done with this. He's like, nah, fuck you. Just, there is no mercy. It's fucking over. You're done. Now, Garradin, this is the one that is is one of the focal points. It's these two that are the focal points. Lagerall became the focal point at the end of the first book. And remember, they took everything else. This is, whatchamacallit? I should have it notated, right? Do I have my little notes? I can't remember what the note button was. Note. Here we go. Yep. Here we go. Bezervin. This is where the king bends the knee. So, Drakor took all of this territory, all of this, all the way through. Drakor took all of it. Yeah. Boop. Boop. Yeah, so this was kind of the focus at the end of the first book. In the second book, it becomes the war against Stallis and Garradin. Though Garradin is undergoing a crisis, Garradin becomes like a neutral state at first because they don't want to get involved. And they watched what happened to Lagerall, and they're like, the regent of Garradin's just like, no, we don't want to bring any of that on us. No siree, not at all. Well, the prince-to-be doesn't like that, and so when he comes of age, he basically casts the regent aside as a traitor, right? He basically calls the regent, he's like, no, like, you're just a weak and cowardly man, you're a traitor, go back to your holdings and just sit there and wallow. You know, you'll leave you to your holdings because of your service to my father and mother, but no, go fuck yourself. You're just gonna sit there, right? It's being polite about telling somebody to go fuck themselves. Go back to your holdings and just sit there and wallow. This actually ends up, this is more like swampy, right? Because of all the different like little lakes and villages and things like that. This is very swampy land. Very swampy. But it's called the Stormcaller Channel for a reason, because a lot of storms come in this way, then they hit the mountain range here, and it draws the storm down and into Stormrend, right? So this has become very swampy. It's a lot more like bogs and marshes and everything. This is originally where the Sahuradin lived beforehand, right? The dragon swallows the storm. Mm-hmm. So this is originally where the Sahuradin were before the purges started. Because Hexathus didn't want to side with the other gods in the genocide of the dragons, because he was the god of reptiles, right? He didn't want to side with them, So one of the biggest purges happened in Stormrend, where they attacked all of the Lizardmen holdings, all the Gatormen, the Snakemen, all that stuff. They attacked all their holdings. This eventually drove them away into what's known as the Saturday. This is a massive swampland right here. It is a massive swamp. But they took that over. When Drakor came into being, the Saturday were like, okay, what the fuck do we do now? There are fucking dragons next to us. There's an entire new kingdom next to us. Well, they end up allying with each other. And there's a good reason for that. This massive swamp acts as a natural barrier from Vitaria. Vitaria can't draw its forces through the swamp easily. So, even though there might not be a lot of them, if the native population of the Saturday is allied with Drakor, guess what's going to make it even harder to get across the swamp? This is where the other kobolds are, by the way, with their matron. The one that Gaddix will eventually get with. Yeah. You got to keep in mind, too, how big this forest is. Like, this thing is huge. And I fucked up when I was making it. When I finished, when I got most of it done, I was realized, oh, fuck. I did the classic blunder. But yeah, so I had to put this in so you could tell what way north was. All this should be slightly skewed. When I realized I fucked up, I was like, oh. But it's okay. It is okay. Right. So anyways, this forest is enormous. Right? This takes you hours to get through. This is a huge forest. And that's all of the forests. They are massive. That's why it's hard to do to scale with all of this, because of just how big all this stuff actually is, right? That's how you can have, like, big old cities and settlements, stuff like that, on these islands, because they're actually pretty fucking big islands. Same thing here. The shipbreaker ones, these are pretty fucking big islands. Yeah. No, not impenetrable. It just takes a long time, right? Like, this is a big, thick forest. And Drakor has, to their massive advantage, they have the Wolvarin. They only have one, which is, they have Sidoris, a.k.a. Steeljaw. And when they get told that Laggarol is bringing its forces, because there's plenty of time, it takes a long time to mobilize armies, right? So Laggarol is marching its army through, and they're coming up towards Drakbor, right? Now, Drakbor, they eventually get them to veer away, and this draws them closer to what will become Fort Ebonscale's territory. But they basically come in, they go around through the village here, come around, go up the bridges, and they're heading for the capital itself. They want to hit the capital. This is where the battle takes place for the God's Fall. So... Oh wait, no, that's not right. No, that is incorrect. No, I remember what happened now. Damn it. Drakbor is where the Battle of the God's Fall happens. That's correct. Fucking shit. But they come up through, and they were going to go around, and I remember they got dragged into coming towards Drakbor, because here's literally the hillside where the God's Fall happens. Stupid me. It's not the 4th yet. That's tomorrow. It's 3rd over here. It is the 3rd of July here. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so Meraxus, when Hexathys decides they're going to march the crusade across, and they wipe out these two villages, and they march through, and they attack Stormrend. Meraxes, as a gift to the first god he met in this world, which was Hexathus, who was the god of reptiles, and he was protecting the Saharadin. As a gift to him, Meraxes attacks Stormbreak itself, like personally. And while he's sitting on top of Stormbreak, damn, thought we were Friday already. Yeah. While he's sitting on top of Stormbreak, I just imagine this part of the song playing, right? As he's literally, like, extends his wings. Remember, he is a huge dragon. When he ascends, when he faces the harrowing and actually ascends into the divine realm, he is a massive dragon, just like Dagrix is. Dagrix is a huge dragon. So, he's sitting on top of the castle. It's groaning underneath his weight. He extends his wings out to either side, and he calls down the greatest hellstorm that anyone has ever seen. And this is what I imagine is playing, the music for that part. Right here. Basically, as the town melts away, as this city, this impressive bastion just melts, the stonework and everything becomes molten. The people obviously turn to fucking ash and smoke. Like, he just obliterates Stormbreak. And remember, this is the whole concept of good does not mean nice. Meraxes has gotten sick of this shit. Stormbreak are not good people. The Stormrend are the people that are still trying to engage in the slave trade. And Meraxes cannot abide by that. Not for, like, even super moral reasons. Meraxes just hates the concept of it on a pragmatic level. Because slave trade, once you engage in the slave trade, you automatically begin to undermine your own people's efficiency and capabilities, right? What happens to nice good people? They're made to face the wall by evil. Yeah. So when Hexathus calls the crusade to get back all their holdings that Stormrend took from them, and started the whole purge and massacre of the reptiles, he comes in and he sits atop Stormbreak and he just molten. This is basically what ends the Battle of the Five Kingdoms, right? And the reason it's called the Battle of the Five Kingdoms is because by the time it actually takes place, Lageral's already out of it. So you have Stallis, Drakor, Vitaria, Stormrend, and Garradin that are engaged in this battle. Garradin gets knocked out of the battle fairly quickly because they devolve into a civil war where those that are loyal to the regent rise up against the crown, because the crown, in its infinite wisdom, Garradin attacks Drakor by itself, right? They want to prove they're strong. So Garradin's royal crown, now underneath the prince, who's now become king, he attacks Drakor. He tries to go through Everwood. That's what this village is called. Everwood has a new wizard tower that's part of the sect of the dragon cult. So, Everwood is under the protection directly of Drakor. Garradin marches up there, and he's like, we're taking back Everwood. Everwood was ours. It's going to be ours again. So he goes up there, marches up to go take it back, and he runs into the mages of the dragon sect. And he runs into the last thing he wanted to run into, which was Dagrix. Archduke Dagrix of Drakor, who currently in the... was originally here housed in a new mountaintop castle that he creates himself. He comes flying over And he gets to show just how lacking Garridan is when he unleashes the acid rains onto them. This severely wounds most of the army. Doesn't kill a lot of people, but it severely wounds them, including scarring the king. The king retreats. He comes back to where the regent holds his area, and he personally blames the regent because he's trying to obfuscate, he's trying to cast aside, failings, right? He got overambitious, he got spanked, now he wants to, show he's strong, so he arrests the regent, and he drags him back to Ironhall, and he has him executed. This was not a good idea, because the regent was beloved in his area, because he took very dear care of his people, and he was an ardent follower of Olander. To the extreme. He believed, no matter what, if you gave your word, you must keep your word. Unless there is extreme circumstances that cause you not able to. Like if the person you pledge to dies. Well, you can't keep your word to a dead man. But yeah, so he was a very, very extreme and ardent believer in Olander. So this did not have the intended effect, because Olander himself came down, admonished the king, literally in front of everybody, as the execution happens, and this actually causes the regent's first son to, freak the fuck out, right? He freaks the fuck out, and he declares open rebellion against the crown, but he is bolstered by the fact that as the headman's axe falls and it takes the regent's head, Olander descends and he outright curses the king. He outright tells him that the crown will gain weight every day it is upon your head until the day your head is no longer with your body. Again, he doesn't actually put a curse on him. He just gives his words. Heavy is the head that wears the crown's going to get heavier and heavier until the day your head rolls. And he said that in front of everybody. Everybody just got to watch a god descend and basically curse the monarch. This causes a hell of a fucking spiral. And it's exactly what Meraxes wanted, too. So, Garridan basically devolves into a civil war pretty fucking quickly. Oh, I forgot to mention the scheming Duke. He takes his army to go attack Lagerall, and fucking Lagerall allies with Drakor, and they show up at the fortress and basically spank their asses. It gets so bad that when the Duke tries to retreat, they came around the southern side to try to sneak, to be sneaksy, instead of going directly from the capital over. But when they try to retreat, the Drakor, the dragons that are working with them, they destroy the bridges. I'm like, nah, you ain't leaving. Ain't leaving. Yeah, basically, that's what he does. That's all he does. He just basically shows up, tells him, get fucked, and then just leaves. Because he knows, Olander knows, he doesn't need to do anything else. By just showing up and basically saying that, hey, this king is a fuck up, and he will bring ruination and disaster on the kingdom, and he leaves, the mandate of heaven has now been firmly established that the mandate of heaven is against you. Good luck. Good luck. Remember, the Duke also took forces to go attack Lagerall, who's weakened, and they got spanked. Good luck. Things aren't going well for you. So, the Battle of the Five Kingdoms, Garridan gets knocked out of it. pretty fucking quickly. Well, the War of the Five Kingdoms. Garridan gets knocked out quickly. Stormrend gets attacked at the same time Stallis gets attacked. Vitaria is the only one that's like mustering its forces and getting ready, right? It's the one that's getting ready to throw down. And then they hear what happened to Stallis. And then they hear especially what happened to Stormrend. And Vitaria, everyone in Visir kind of looks up at the king. And the king looks back at them and is like, nah, we don't want none of that. Yeah, we don't want none of that. Nope. So Vitaria will have a settled peace, and they will capitulate and fold basically to Drakor entirely. But the way that Stallis gets attacked is Meraxes is so fucking fed up with Stallis because of the Ravens' Watch. The Ravens' Watch are constantly attacking everyone. They're doing hit and run. They're doing terrorist attacks, basically. Because Stallis is trying to play, feign ignorance. Like, oh, it's not us, it's the Count. You killed the Count's uncle. He's very upset. I'm sorry, we can't do anything about it. It's a blood debt. Ain't that a shame? Well, Drakor sends ambassadors over to Staffsig and is like, hey, you gotta cut the shit out. The Count gets word of the ambassadors going to Stavzig, right? And he has the ambassadors murdered. And he sends them back on behalf of Stallis. Stallis had no idea that this was happening. Okay? They had no idea that the ambassadors were just murdered in their own name and sent back. Their heads sent back to Drakor. This then makes Meraxes take off the gloves. He's like, alright, you want to know what a war of terror is? I'm going to show you a war of terror. And he unleashes Steeljaw onto Stallis. And his orders for Steeljaw are basically, render Stallis uninhabitable for everyone that isn't associated with Drakor. I want nothing left. I want them to be drowned in fur, fangs, and claw. At the same time this is happening, as Steeljaw moves through and they start wiping out fucking villages and cities and everything, they're putting as many people to the sword as possible. Stallis freaks the fuck out and they're like, what are we gonna do? And then comes the landings from Shipbreaker Isle. They start landing troops, and they start taking out all of these cities and villages and towns over here, and Stallis is now suddenly realizing, okay, something went really wrong here. Somebody get my advisors. Something went very fucking wrong here. Then while that's going on, and Hexathys and his army, the reptilian army, pushes through, and they're moving into Stormrend, that's when Meraxes descends on Stormbreak. And he just is like, I'm done with all the little schemes. I have to deal with the gods themselves trying to murder my entire fucking race. I'm fucking done with it. So, I'm gonna cut this down right here, right now. And he renders Stormbreak into a molten sea of lava. The hellfire rains down. All of the townspeople are crying in agony and everything. The stonework melts. And then, as everything is burning around them and the king of Stormrend looks up, Meraxes takes off from the roof, looks down at them, and casts the final bit of hellfire directly onto the keep. So that the king could watch as his entire city melted away, and then he gets to experience it afterwards. And that is essentially when Vitaria gets word that happened, and then their aides are coming back from Staffzig who they have to go through the waters. They have to be very fucking careful because Drakor is getting a really powerful navy very quickly, especially because they start setting up a naval base on Shipbreaker Isles. When they get word back of what happened, that's when Vitari is like, no, we bend the knee. No, we don't want none of this. Nope. No, we see what's coming. We see what's happening. And we see that the gods themselves are not helping. In fact, there are gods that are helping, but they're helping our enemies. They're not helping us. Very concerning. Keep in mind, too, this is also right after Meraxes destroys the God of War. Right? Hell yes! Stop Killing Games petition hit 1 million signatures. Fuck yes. Well done. Well done, guys. Again, I can't take any credit for it or anything. Wait, that sounds weird. No, I can't. I couldn't have helped in any way other than just giving word about Stop Killing Games, right? Because I'm in the U.S. We don't have that. The petition is for the EU. But hell yes. Well done, everybody. Well done. Yeah. But yeah, so Meraxes has killed the God of War, and again, he did it by outthinking him. So the God of War attacks and tries to kill Meraxes. Meraxes basically keeps looking like he's getting his ass kicked by the God of War, right? This is what emboldens the other kingdoms to even fight Drakor to begin with. Was, oh hey, their god king, Meraxes, is getting his ass kicked by the God of War. Huh. Okay. No, the God of War is on our side. We'll do it. Meraxes was playing the fool. He was playing a mummery because they hadn't yet perfected the magic that Meraxes needed. Right? The God of War's avatar was incredibly powerful. Meraxes is stronger than the Avatar, though. But he doesn't want the Avatar. He wants the God of War himself. Right? Came up with a COH character, and now I want to write a short story about him. There you go. Yeah, exactly. It's not just a normal petition either, yeah. Like Pirate, who's a major conflict of interest. Oh yeah, God, Pirate Software. It's fucking great. I am annoyed that only people now are realizing how much of a scumbag he is. When the whole Louis Rossman thing happened, with initially the start of Stop Killing Games, that's when it was like, wow. But yeah, so Meraxes wants the God of War. He doesn't want the God of War's avatar. He could destroy the God of War's avatar easily. But if he plays the fool and he keeps the God of War feeling arrogant and feeling like, well, my avatar is stronger than him, so we'll just keep attacking him, right? Anyways, Meraxes was working on a special magic. And once that special magic was completed, the trap was now ready to be sprung. So Meraxes makes a big show of coming down to help with the battle of the fortresses, right? Before Garridan goes into civil war. Like, Meraxes makes a big show of it, that he's coming down here. Meanwhile, he sends Dagrix up to intercept, right? Meraxes comes down, he's making a big show of it, because he wants the God of War to take the bait. The God of War does take the bait, and he chases off Meraxes. Meraxes now brings him back up closer into his territory, until they get to this fortress. When they get to the fortress across the river, Meraxes springs the trap. Meraxes stops running, and he turns to face the avatar of the God of War. Now, the God of War is like, well, did you finally get tired or stop running? And Meraxes, by the way, the whole point is that, like, he he's to the point where he's lost an arm and everything like that, but he's pretending he could regrow it if he wanted. He has the magical capabilities to regrow his arm, but he needs to look like he's being beaten. When the God of War's avatar shows up above the fortress and they're about to have their battle, Meraxes just smiles, regrows all of the injuries the God of War had inflicted on him, and basically just says, checkmate. And the God of War is fucking confused. Then the magic triggers. Meraxes has now invented soul-binding magic. And he did it because of what he noticed from, oh my god, I can't remember the god's name. The actual first dragon god in Averil, the first dragon god in this world, was kidnapped by demons during the battle between Sangris, the god of justice, and Yadarix, who was the primordial dragon. Yadarixis, I think, is the full name. So they get in a fight with each other. While the fight's going on and the gods and everything are distracted, the demons launch an attack. The devils, the hells, launch an attack, and they steal away the egg of the dragon god that's about to be born. So the egg hatches in the hells, but the dragon god is too powerful, so he's able to create like a shield around himself, and he's currently being watched over by the bloody serpent. Well, this dragon god then starts using his capabilities, his innate ability, which is to protect the souls of dragons. This inspires Meraxes, like, wait, if that's possible, and then putting further onto that, the souls of mortals come into the divine realms with us, therefore the souls can be interacted with, so with soul binding magic, when it triggers, the God of War, his soul is in part of his avatar. Right? The avatar is a part of the God of War. The soul binding magic kicks in, and suddenly the God of War is no longer in his divine realm. He is now there before Meraxes. Where his avatar once was, he has now been merged and made whole. And the God of War is now standing in front of the Divine Dragon King, who just proceeds to lay the ass whooping of all time on him, devours him, and destroys his divine realm. And thus starts the new blood reign. Now, the other kingdoms get the wrong impression because they think it's Meraxes that died. They have no concept that the God of War died until it's too fucking late. Until people start realizing that the God of War's priests and stuff like that are beaten bloody and blue and then have been eaten. Like, bits and pieces of them have been eaten. And then they realize, oh, fuck, the God of War died. It wasn't Meraxes that died. Oh shit. But by that point, the die has been cast. They've already declared war. They're already in the fight. It's their fate has been sealed. It's over for them. Yeah. Long story fucking short. There you go. There's a long roundabout way, and because of the music, there you go. You got more lore into Meraxes and everything. Now, back to Obsidian. So we can talk about the Wolverine, aka Steeljaw. Sadoris, aka Steeljaw, and his offspring. That will eventually become a multiversal species because of Meraxes. Meraxes basically is like, no, we're gonna have these be they are a very useful tool in the multiverse. And he charges the Wolverine with the defense of nature, spirits, and the natural world. Right? That's their charge. And remember what what Jennifer Woods asked was, well, if you only protect, like, the weak, the wicked, the strong. Was it Jennifer that asked? Because somebody asked Michael, why would you protect the spirits then? Can the spirits not defend themselves? Oh, no, yeah, it was Jennifer. Yeah, she asked him inside the visitor center. Jennifer asks, why would you protect the spirits, the natural world, and everything like that? If it's not the intention of the strong to protect the weak, but the stronger to fight the wicked, why would you bother protecting things that can't defend themselves? Aren't they weak? He's like, not at all. They are the thing that lets us have life. It's like, why would we let our enemies deprive us of oxygen? You know? Why would you allow your enemy to suffocate you? No, we're going to protect the thing that gives us oxygen. Because it keeps us strong. Ugh. And the spirits have their own strength, because the spirits can do contracts, and they can give you gifts and boons. Yeah, but again, she wasn't thinking beyond that point. She was just thinking of the initial thing, the weak, the wicked, the strong, right? And it is not the purview of the strong to defend the weak. That is just the weak being entitled. Again, she thought of it only at surface level at first, right? That was her only thing at the very start of it. Oh no, you absolutely can. Again, that's the whole point behind the teaching of the trifecta. Right? Is that the weak can become strong through effort. Once you start standing up for yourself, once you start doing things for yourself, you can become strong. Farmers prove their strength in their provisions and what they provide. They choose to do the work. Right? What the weak are those people that are entitled. Those people that don't want to lift a finger. Oh, somebody else will take care of it. Right? That's the problem. And traditional ideals of nobility, of like good heroes and things, is that the strong will jump in front of the dagger that's meant to kill the weak. No. That's not the point. The strong are to destroy the one wielding the dagger that's threatening the weak, because that person is wicked. That's what the strong do. The strong destroy the wicked. Now, the strong can choose to defend the weak if they want. They have that right. They have become strong. But it's not an obligation. The strong themselves get to dictate if they want to defend the weak or not. Essentially, it's taking the burden off of the strong and being like, no, through being strong, you have proven yourself and you have gained the right to choose. Oh, this has all become really loose. Hang on a second. Hold on. The wiring has become loose. There we go. I tightened it back up. Yeah. It's a purview of the weak to stop being punk-ass bitches and get strong. Yeah. And so then Jennifer asks Michael, well, am I weak? And he said, well, yes. However, you just told me you had a taser and you're carrying mace spray around. You're carrying pepper spray, right? It's like, yes. Then you're choosing to take more responsibility for yourself. You're on the path to becoming strong. Right? You are choosing to no longer be like, oh, someone else will come save me. You're choosing to take responsibility for yourself. You are starting on the path to become strong. And Jennifer, laughs and says that it was her brother that got her to start doing this. Because her brother would always note that whenever a crisis happens, whenever the seconds count, help is always minutes away. And Michael then concedes to her, is like, your brother's a very smart man. And he's right. Again, just because Jennifer, she's not physically strong at all. However, she is starting to take control of her own destiny, her own fate. She's choosing to take the responsibility to look after and care for herself. That is a strength in and of itself. She is starting on the path of becoming strong. Yep. That's the whole thing about the Wolverine, too. It's the ungratefulness of things. Remember, William constantly talks about people being ungrateful for what they have. Samantha even talks about it, because she's a shifter as well. Though she's not a wolf, she's a raven. But she talks about it as well. It's the being grateful for what you have, playing the hand that you're dealt. It's like, you can complain about it, but just do it. Just get through it. You need to do it. Nothing's going to change it. Be like, oh, this fucking sucks. Well, as they say, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Whoop, excuse me. But remember, the things that annoyed William, the things he talks about, like the gormless moron standing behind the counter at the cash register who barely looks like he's fucking cognizant of his surroundings. That's the shit that annoys the piss out of William. That's the shit that gets him angry. The fucking cackling Karen that's like, you got my order wrong, how dare you, stuff like that. It's like, be grateful for the food. I'm sorry. Like, be like, oh, that sucks, you got my order wrong. Well, I'm just letting you know for next time. I probably won't be back, but, you know, try to do better. Then you just leave, right? You don't make a big stink about it. You make your complaint known, and then you just leave. Yep. Yes, and? Yeah, it's why he doesn't complain about, like, construction. Because they're doing a service, they're doing a job. So he doesn't mind construction. What he hates is the traffic. He has nothing against any of the construction workers or anything. He hates the people sitting there constantly blaring their fucking horns like, everybody's stuck in this situation. What the fuck do you think honking your horn's gonna do? Shut the fuck up. Just suffer in silence. You honking your horn isn't getting you through this any faster. You notice I'm not honking my horn? It's because I understand this basic fucking concept. Yeah. So that's all part of it, right? Holy shit. I remember we were talking about working with Obsidian. We've just barely started with Obsidian. They are not the boogeymen and not susceptible. Susceptible. Ugh. Ugh, I knew it. Susceptible. I don't really use susceptible much. Are susceptible to the typical werewolf banes. So we want this. New. Not the entire thing. Multiversal researchers. Okay, and then we'll go into that with what multiversal researchers are. They are basically entities or beings that are able to pierce through to different universes. Right? They can basically travel the web of, like, they can travel Severus's different little, like, schemes and things. Multiversal researchers, though, aren't inherently divine. They just have more interaction. They're basically like mages and wizards and shit like that have ascended beyond what they are, but have not undergone the harrowing. Still have more design documents than Bethesda. Ain't that fucking sad? Isn't that really fucking sad? I don't want to explain things too much in here because we'll just have it branch off, right? Like, they not suffer the Bane of Silver, which we can branch that off to something else instead. Entirely capable of spirit magics, which that needs to be its own thing. All times, thus making them a greater threat. That's messy. That's messy. Man, because I want to go into deep dive details, but it's better to separate all this stuff out to make it more digestible, you know? It's much better. Oh, shit tons of things use spirit magics and everything, right? But no, I want this to be... Now, this is supposed to be for the species in and of themselves, the descriptors of it. It is always noted that Wolvarin are entirely capable. Can I... add to dictionary. Okay. And the same with this. This is the capitalized version of it. Add to dictionary. Okay. I'm going to add this to dictionary as well. For multiversal. Okay, good. That automatically added that. Thank goodness. Okay. Add to dictionary. Sakara. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Threat and traditional juggernaut wolf monsters. I spelled juggernaut wrong? Let me guess. Get rid of that. Yep. Always, always. Wolvarin come into compact with the local world's moon, which can have its own designation, but often times are just called Juggernaut. He who juggers not. Can have its own designation, but oftentimes are just called Luna or Mani. These names always appease the local moons, though if one learns of their true name, it is held in ever higher regard. I think I will put Mani as the one, right? I think that's what we should do. Mani, so... Whoa! What the fuck? What the fuck? Thank you. Good lord. Good Lord. Yeah. So, again, and sometimes the local moons are literally Luna or Mani, right? But sometimes the local moons have their own name. And if you learn the local moon's true name, see, it's the whole thing of like saying like, "Oh, I know you're a divine entity, so I will call you God," right? Versus, "I know you're a divine entity, so I will call you Olander." I know you're the divine entity of honor, duty, and the oath, so I'll call you Olander. Obviously, if you call Olander God, he's appreciative of it. He's like, okay, you understand my status. But if you call him Olander, you know his name. He's like, ah, there you go. Now you know. Oh, that's another thing. In Project Gorgon, I've unlocked Warden. However, I think thematically, psychology is more thematic to Strithelfer, right? It's all about thematics. And that's the thing I did mention. Um, I did change off of Scald. So instead of Scald, it's Yalder Scald. Because Scald itself means just poet. But I wanted to emphasize the war aspect or battle aspect. So Hjalder, it means battle in Old Norse. So Hjalder Scald, battle poet, right? Or war poet. I guess I could do Strithjald, Strithskjald, but no, I think Hjalder for battle is more accurate. So we changed that to have that. Again, we also talked about the three groups, which I will mention that no matter where in the multiverses, they tend to fall into these three overarching categories, and then it all separates based off of the local multiversal rules. Okay. This compact gives them the 5 casts that all Wolverine fall under, regardless of their corruption. So we'll do corruption as its own thing. Cool, I can do that. Alright, corruption as its own thing, and then the casts. We'll do 5 casts. This as its own thing, because it's a very particular thing. Because casts can be its own stuff. Right? So the 5 casts will be its own thing. And we've got that. I then need to do... the number 5, by the way, is very fucking important to Wolverine. Because you have the 5 talons. So, 1 talon for each finger and your thumb. So, the 5 talons, which is also your rank structure. The 5 casts, because of the 5 phases of the moon. And then you have the 5 forms. So, again, the number 5 is very important to Wolverine. Ugh. Oofta. Oh my goodness. Yeah, corruption is a universal thing of when it comes under the trifecta, right? The strong, the weak, the wicked, the strong. Each Wolverine also has the capability to shift between one of five forms at will. Okay, we'll do this. 5 forms at will. These forms are as follows. Mather, the humanoid form. Ulf Hetner, the... what did I call it? I had a very specific term for it. The beastly form. Yeah, that's right. The beastly form. Wolverine. True form. You know, yeah, let's capitalize it. Just keep it universal. Then Varger. The nightmare wolf form. And Ulfer, the wolf form. Okay. I need to explain the different emphases on these, so... add link. Add link. We're going to have to add these all to the dictionary too. Add link. Add link. And again, Wolverine species does not need a link. I'm liking Obsidian. I am. I'm liking this system. Right? Can I do this to just for myself? Okay, so Mather, Ulfhetner, Varger, Ulfer. Okay, cool. It's going well, actually. I'm trying to think about this. Hang on. I'm going to do this. The 5 forms. Add link. Okay. Can I... oh, wait, I think I know what we can do. I think we can... hold up. I think if I then go here into the 5 forms... so, the 5 forms are the associated forms of the Wolverine race. Maybe I'll change that from that. So, add link... instead, come back here to Wolverine species and change that to Wolverine itself. There we go. So they link back to each other. All right. These forms are described as follows in so what I'm going to do here is we're going to have the 5 forms as a thing here, and then if I talk about the 5 forms anywhere else, we can link directly to this, and that'll let it branch back out into the 5 forms. Okay. Again, the Mother, the humanoid form, Ulf, Hetner, the beastly form, Wolvarin, the true form, Varger, the nightmare wolf form, and Ulfer, the wolf form. Okay, and then again, add link. Add link. Add link. Add link. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. They might use the system for it. It's good use of it, honestly. Oh, hang on, wait. I got a better idea. Change this to be Wolvarin race. Or the Wolvarin species. Let's do that. Wolvarin species. Okay. Then come back to here. Wolvarin species. Okay. Perfect. Back to the web. Right. Okay, we can just delete that now. So we can just come back to here. Okay, come down here. Alright, cool. Right. You're gonna make me do that, aren't you? Bastard bitch. Okay. Anyways. It was funny, though, that Korean, Pagan, and Moodle had never heard of the term, the mental illness mafia. There we go. Just make it look nicer. Okay, the 5 forms. That way, if I ever link to the 5 forms, they can further designate out like that, right? Yeah. Perfect. These. Oh, by the way, Sir Reginald, I had said that I had changed the name of Skald, and I'll show you. These casts are as follows. Wrecker, the Warriors of the Full Moon, the Yalder Skald, so the warrior poets of the Gibbous Moon, the Domari, the judges and law keepers of the Half Moon, Guthi, The spiritual guides of the crescent moon. And lastly, the Speya. Oh. The spies and scouts of the new moon. Okay. Why did you shift around again? Alright, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Alright. So we're going to come here. And this is going to be record, just so I can get rid of it. Okay. And now, create link. Slurp. Why you move? You can insert a bullet list by right click? Can you? Ooh. Table? Becker. Underscald. Domari. Goofy. It's under paragraph? Would that look nicer or would the table look nicer? Can I fill this table out further this way? Ooh, I can. Bunk. Okay. The warrior. The battle bard. We'll just do that. Just because people know what that is. Judge and lawkeeper. Judge and lawman. Nah, lawman. Spies and scouts. Ooh, I know what I can do. Hold on. Hold on. No. Oh, no, I gotta start it over again. Okay, so we'll just do this. We'll clear it out. Okay, let's see. Cast. Can I make this bold and everything? Ah! Alright. There. Cool. I didn't think it was letting me, so. Yalder Scald. Let's see. Speya. I don't know why I had two P's there. Okay. So, the cast. What do we put this as? This one's definitely going to be moon phase. Moon phase. Okay. Full moon. Gibbous moon. Half moon. Crescent moon. New moon. How about duties? Yeah. Duties. Duty! He said duty. I want to put this centered. How can I center the text? Bold. And it looks like they're already bolded to me. Roll's better. Yeah, roll. Mm-mm. Cast, roll, moon phase. How do we center you? What is the markdown for centering? I like this a lot better. A bird just smacked your window? Ooh. Dead. Add link. Add link. Add link. Add link. Okay. And then we need to have Wolvarin as the form itself. Can I do... Man, work is boring as hell. It happens. How do I get centered code? Because I would love to have these centered, just because I think it looks nicer. I guess it doesn't have... We don't have to. We don't need to get stuck on it. Okay. Insert table. Oh, hang on. Get rid of one of those. Yeah, okay. So, form. Descriptor. Okay, so the matter. Humanoid form. Okay, the Wolfhetner. The beastly form. Wolvarin. The true form. Thanks for that. True form. Varger, the Nightmare Wolf. We just do the humanoid, and this is just the Nightmare Wolf, and then Ulfer, the wolf. All right. Yep, take care, Grinus. Okay, that's linked. That's linked. We're gonna do Wolvarin. I wish there was a way for me to put, like... Yeah. Center, okay. Center, alright. Cool. Alright. I'm just gonna do bulleted list on the next one. Wolvarin are broken down into 3 main archetypes across the multiverse. These, though, the Wolverine are broken down main archetypes across the multiverse. Do this. Though they can be further splintered into thousands of different subgroups. The main 3 archetypes are as follows. This one we're going to put a bolded list. Disciplined. I want this to be bold. How's that? I wish I could when I do a link, I wish I could put like on this for Wolverine, right? I wish I could have Wolverine and then quote parentheses like the form, you know, and then like here Wolverine the species. Believe all sin and corruption must be resisted at all times through great effort. The Embracers. Oh. The Embracers. Those that believe are sinners and will indulge a little, but are ardent in their belief in teachings. And follow teachings. Smilers. Fuck. That revel in their sins and corruption. Eventually fall further if saved into becoming hellhounds. Alright. Right. So add link. Oh, it does. Okay. Okay. I see. So, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Right? And it still keeps it bold. Hell yeah. Nice. Perfect. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Okay. Right, so the disciplined, the embracers, the smilers. Right? Oh, and then I need to do hellhounds. I want it to be becoming a hellhound. There we go. Add link. Right. Cool. Basically, I want to compartmentalize a shit ton of this stuff, right? I know, and it's because of this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, again, it'll look neater once this stops springboarding off new stuff and I can start, like, you know, whatchamacallit. We can organize it to look more like a pretty flower. For now, though, it looks very, like, But basically, I'm going to take this list, and we're going to put them in the 5 forms. We're going to put them in the, all that stuff like that, right? And then have them all linked together. Whoopsie, not what I meant to do. Column, delete that column. Okay, cool. I can do this, though. I hope. Come here to the 5 forms. Okay. There. Right? Cool. And back to the Wolverine species. We're going to come here. The 5 casts are those gifted to the Wolverine species through the compact with Luna, the moon. These casts are as follows. Boom. Okay. There we go, and then that all links there like that. Okay. Yep. But no, again, that's why I want to get this all broken down, because then we'll explain each of the casts. So it's like, okay, those are the casts. I understand what the role is. So you could have this like little chart here, be like, okay, I understand the 5 casts. These are what they are. These are their general roles. Then we can go into Wrecker, and then we can explain the spiritual magics and gifts and everything like that. So the way that it's going to happen is I'm going to have like spirit magics down here at the bottom. Right? And then the 5 forms and the 5 casts, stuff like that, will all link into spirit magics as well. So essentially, this will be like, to get a way that this is going to be pulled, it's going to be pulled out like this, like the way the 5 forms is out here, like that. And then the 5 forms will be designated in. Then from those, they will all link down into spirit magics. Right? I'll explain it when it's more closer to it. Yeah, no, I really like this. I really like this system. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Plus, I like it being compartmentalized like this. No, don't put that there. Okay, how do I get it to come to this one? That's what I want. No. Bad. Bad. One in this one. I like it in this and then having my map over here. Damn it. Damn it. Okay. Right. All right. By the way, again, all of the normal spirits will still contract with Smilers as well. And the reason why is because the spirits think like, hey, if they could be saved, they could be drawn out of their spiral, that'd be great. The moment a Smiler becomes a Hellhound, though, all of the spirit contracts they had are shattered. Right? Because they're no longer a Wolverine. Hellhounds for all intents and purposes, for all like roles and mechanics, are treated as demons. So if you have magics that specifically target demons, they'll target hellhounds. Anyways, be right back a second, chat. I'm going to go to the bathroom and get myself some food. My stomach is, my stomach is hungry. My bowels are doing the grumble rumble. It's the wombo combo. LB. Alright, I'm back. Oh, have you ever thought about going back to Warhammer Age of Reckoning? I love Age of Reckoning. I don't like Return of Reckoning. Best PvP game. I do like the PvP, but I don't like Return of Reckoning. They constantly make stupid decisions. They got rid of one of the big problem childs of really stupid decisions. But they always, my belly's making the rumblies that only hands can satisfy. Uh-oh. But they make stupid decisions. Like, especially the time to kill, like, ramping up. God, how fucking long... It's always wild, because there's always copium from them, but the shaman players are always the most insufferable motherfuckers in all of Return of Reckoning. Oh, it's actually really difficult to play a shaman. You're the single most broken class in the entire game. The best solo roam class in the entire fucking game. Piss off. You didn't even need best in slot, and you could still slaughter everybody. I wonder if that's still a fucking problem. I know Optimus comes in and tells me every now and then that, like, they do more stupid things. But they did get rid of the big problem child. Which was the guy that kept nerfing Witch Hunter because, like, oh, it's not fun to get bursted out. It's like, it's an assassin class. Fuck off. Holy shit. Oh. Holy shit. Kindly fuck off. For good, please. Right. Yeah, no, we haven't gotten much done. Death Knight's back when they first put into WoW. Ugh. Yeah. Again, it's because they have extreme mobility. They get multiple tactics that increase their mobility and move speed, right? They have knockbacks, slows, stuns, bubble shields for themselves, which and they're a healer class, by the way, so they can heal themselves. So they get lots of dots. Lots of dots. Oh, they are so fucking annoying. Right. Meanwhile, let's go back into Project Gorgon. We got a bit done. Today. We started our web. We will continue working on the web eventually. Now I want to go in and play some Project Gorgon. Oh, as you can see, yep, White Wolf. For anyone that didn't see it before, I'm the White Wolf. I'm the White Wolf. Woo! Being so vulnerable to it and all. Thanks for making it a little easier. Here, take these. They're used in Wolfsbane bombs. Woo. Okay. White Wolf. The White Wolf is real. Yeah. Now, thankfully, they can't solo bosses because there's the enrage timer. But still. Like, if there wasn't the enrage timer, they absolutely could. Right. Bear groupies. So yeah, I'm trying to work on my psychology and get everything up. And as you see, my werewolf, my lycanthrope, is up to 33. It's really fucking nice. Really fucking nice. Ooh. Ooh. Bah. Bah. Archery damage and everything. It only glows. Otherwise, it was garbage. It was poo-poo garbage. Poo-poo garbage. Poo-poo garbage. Suck my tail. Shame. Shame. My pizza's way too hot for me to eat right now. I stuck it in the microwave instead of the air fryer. Oh, you want to bring the big one, eh? Hey, hey, hey. Please hold. I'll kill you too. As long as he doesn't bring any fucking friends. Because that's the big problem. When this thing... Ow! When this thing brings friends. Bastard bitch. Bastard bitch shit fuck. Woo. Alright. Bap. 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 Level 17 psychology. Muntauk peppercorns. That is. Corpse. Just funny that these are called groupies. By the way, there was actually a quest that involved like the weird consequences of having animals that gain sentience. Because one of them is the pig, Norbert. He asked the question, he's like, okay, so I have a question. I've been arguing with Raoul about this the whole time. So say, hypothetically speaking, there was a pig, and he was mated to another pig, and they were both normal pigs. Then one day, one of the pigs gets struck by a bolt of lightning and gains sentience. Is it still okay to be mated with and fool around with the normal pig? And I was like, well, I guess so, yeah. He's like, oh, thank God. I've been arguing with Raoul about this forever. Like, oh, no. Oh, no. I have fallen into the trap. Owie. Bastard bitch. Bastard bitch shit fuck. Grapes, mandrake, skin corpse, eat. Eat! Yeah, I bet you didn't expect that from questions from games like this. Those kind of questions. It's like, I appreciate that they actually went through that thought process. Though, you know? Like, well, what would happen? Like, what would be... Suddenly imagine a sentient mushroom and eat something from you. Oh my God! Look at all the bear groupies! Ah! Oh shit! I summoned the horde! It's like banging a retard. Yeah. I guess that's what he's into. Nope. I guess that's what he's into. I guess my thing would be try to give her sentience then. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, sure, fuck it. Why don't you try to give her sentience as well? Like, you got struck by lightning, sure, but now you know the wardens exist, and they have the spring. Give her sentience. Kill bears. Got it. Can do. Can do. Skin corpse. Eat. Autopsy. Skin corpse. Eat. Kill the bears. Kill the bears. You'll not find me as a fan of bears. Nope. Stupid, stinking animals. Think you're so good. Nah, you ain't. The whoops are better. The whoops are better. The whoops are better. That's the Gauru coming out. Stupid girl. The Gauru are way better. Guardians of nature. Ha! Couldn't guard shit. Gaia had to make the Gauru because of your shortcomings and failures. You bastard bitches. You bastard bitches, shit fucks. Ooh. That's nice. Eat. Oh. Pizza. Pizza good. I messed up that. Well, oh, more. We're getting lots more groupies. Stand and fight. This is supposed to be brutal. Oh, we did it. Had to play it a little more passive, though, than normal. You're all getting eaten. No. 3 more. Okay. Send you a mushroom. It needs something from you. Well, if it doesn't tell me what it needs, I can't really help it now, can I? Oh, yes, there is an entire mushroom people, by the way. That is actually a thing, yes. Mushroom, da 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 da. The shroomers. They're real. They're genuinely real. Building up our Fey anatomy, though. Thank goodness. Oh. Do 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 do. I want this. I need Mach. I have a thing that turns Mach into like a mini nuke, which is nice, but it only makes it 14 psychic damage. I need something that boosts its damage more, and then I will absolutely use it as like the mini nuke it is. Because I have a thing that makes it target everything within 20 meters of each other. It's like, that's a pretty big distance. "20 meters is pretty fucking big of a distance." Is how we can break down more. Eat. Distill. Distill. Khalil, no! I hurt myself with that. Oh no, in his confusion. The streamer hurt himself with that one. Khalil, no! Man, must be nice to have some AoE. Must be nice! I never get lucky and get AoE stuff. You, come here. Come here. Yes, you. Alright, both of you, that's fine. Oh, shit! Have brought the horde! Have brought the horde! Owie. Howie. I guess I could try butchering it, but I think we just get stringy meat because it's a predator, right? Beast metabolism. Alright, Mauler, come here. I got a bone to pick with EFAP. Oh. Oh, fuck. I got a bone to pick with you. Alright, let's see what this bowl wants. Do you actually? No. Animal handling 20. Oh, no, that's right. Oh. Alright, well. Time to go back to being human. Sad. I don't want to talk to Sussy Bakow right now. That still amuses me to no end. Calling the suspicious cow the Sussy Bakow. You just have to make your own fun sometimes. Hello. Okay. Neat. Shame. Shame. This is called Project Gorgon. It should still be on the Steam sale at the moment. If you would like to get it. Alright, let me go bathe real quick so I can talk to the elves. Because the elves don't like you if you're stinky. They're like, oh, you smell. Fuck off. Fuck off and get a bath, mate. Okay, who do I grief? It's already factored into the price, though. Wow. I already have that. Sure, I'll take that. Ooh, small fireworks recipe. Sure. Alright, neat. Okay, what do we need for fireworks? And good parchment. Okay, we should have that back at town. Hell yeah. Let's do it. Hell yeah. Yep, take care, Sir Reginald. We'll be doing more Obsidian stuff tomorrow. And we're talking about the books and lore and everything. Because we're going to have to get down to the nitty-gritty of mechanics, right? And I think I want to add in another level of spirit, too. Oh, excuse me. Oh shit, all the ghosts are out. Somebody dragged the ghosts out and they probably murked somebody. Oh, I missed. Give me that. Onwards! Mush! Onwards! I should try to get the wood logs too, now that I think about it. While we're human. Ugh. Ugh. Gross. Ah, 2 more foraging skill to get maple. Bastard. Bastard, bitch, shit fucks. Bastard, bitch, shit fucks. At least we're about to hit 19, so not too far off. One thing I need to do, I want to find, like, some more goms. What are goms? His name is Summoner. I wonder what he does. The fact that Pet Rock is rolling after them is great. It's actually pretty fucking funny. Oh. Ch-ch-ch-chia. Alright, hang out. Untangle, knotted. Untangle the knots. Okay. Right. Okay. You do 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 do. I'm pretty positive I had giant spider legs. So I need good parchment, right? Good parchment, yep. Oh, she doesn't do parchment? Okay. Yay! Launch some fireworks at night. Okay, we'll do it at night. Neat. He said you missed having AoEs. Every class I take and every skill I take, oh no. Every class I take and every skill I take, every guy I break, everything I hate, I miss AoEs. That's horrible. No, I got it. Every class I make should be the first one, right? Every class I make, and every skill I take, every guy I break, everything I hate, I miss AoEs. Butcher a tiger for its meat. That's weird. Dance at night. Okay, we can do that. Oh no. Oh no, chat, it's happening. It's happening, chat. No. It's happening. It's happening. No. Alright. Had to close out some stuff. There we go. Memory leakage. Ah, it's of the devil. I stopped it before it stopped the stream, though, so that's nice. It's one of those things where I just wish I could figure out what is using up all the memory on the drive. Oh, that is interesting. I could save some room right now. Yeah. Yum. That'll be nice. Oh my god. By Gaia. The fuck? Okay. There we go. There we go. A little bit of room. A little bit of room cleared up. But I wish I knew where all the rest of the bloat was. Anyways, chat. I think that's where we'll call it for today. Obviously, that was a warning sign from the gods. In the meantime, though, hopefully you guys take care. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe and healthy. Get fit, get ripped. Remember, tomorrow, we're not doing Saturday Showtime on Saturday. We're doing it on Friday. And it'll be after the stream, and we will be watching Independence Day. Good movie. Good movie for Friday. 4th of July. Today we celebrate our Independence Day. Yeah. For now, though, everybody, bye-bye. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.